The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome back to another episode of The Meltdown. I'm Norm.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we are going to be talking about things in common. Jeff, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What do babies and corn have in common?
Babies and corn.
Yeah.
You both, you can put melted butter.
You can, but they both have ears, Jeff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is what I'm looking for. So today, I was hoping you were going to
Don't
say,
put
well,
butter on
I thought you were going to say, well, it only takes like 5 minutes to boil them.
Yeah, don't put butter on your baby.
no,
Actually, I would put
no.
margarine, vegan margarine, since I'm a vegan.
Right.
We all know that.
That's right.
So I totally missed that question. I
That's
totally
okay.
got
That's
the
okay.
answer
So
wrong.
you weren't prepared for that.
No,
You
I
weren't
wasn't.
prepared.
Not at all.
But we do have some interesting things about, I guess, commonalities, you could say.
Yeah.
Plus, we have Lou Sarcino back for his take on it, and we have some stupidness.
It's time for some Meltdown fun facts.
Are you ready for this, Jeff?
Yes.
All right. I've got for you, this is really funny, 19 surprising things that Sting and Shaggy have in common.
Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
No. No, the recording artist.
Oh, that's Shaggy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got confused
Because
there.
they did an album together,
yeah.
apparently last year or something. On April 20th, 2018, Sting and Shaggy released their collaborative album, 44876, which united a rock star who built some of his biggest hits on an eye-flowing reggae rhythm and a singer-MC most usually associated with dancehall rhythms. It turned out that this unlikely combination were not quite the odd couple you might expect. Why? Because this dynamic Englishman and versatile Jamaican have more in common than you might think. So here we go, the 19 surprising things that Sting and Shaggy have in common.
All right.
Number one word. Both stars are known by one-word names starting with an S. Shaggy's real name is Orville Richard Burrell. Sting's is Gordon Matthew Sumner. Number two, one love. Both Sting and Shaggy were inspired by Bob Marley. Shaggy declared him his musical hero, and Sting took part in a tribute to the Jamaican reggae pioneer at the Grammy Awards in 2013. Additionally, Sting covered the Marley-Peter Tosh composition Get Up, Stand Up at a benefit for Amnesty International in 1988, and Shaggy performed the same song in his shows a decade later as part of a Marley medley. That's hard to say, Marley medley.
Marley medley.
Marley medley. Marley medley.
Marley.
Marley Matlin.
Marley Matlin.
Marley Matlin's Marley medley. Marley Matlin's Marley medley.
Yeah, Marley Matlin. And
Try saying Marley Matlin's Marley. Marley Matlin's Marley. I can't
Marley
even do it.
Matlin's Marley medley.
Okay. See if you guys can do any better at home. Number three, the Casey Connection. Legendary U.S. DJ Casey Kasem compiled a promo album that included Sting's All This Time, one of the DJ's all-time favorite tunes. In a curious coincidence, Kasem was the first voice of the ghost-chasing Scooby-Doo cartoon character that Shaggy was named
I was
after.
going to just mention that.
Yeah, and there you go. So you were kind of, when you said that at first, I didn't want to give it away. Number four, ay caramba! Shaggy isn't the only one with a cartoon alter ego. Sting appeared in the Simpsons episode Radio Bart in season 3. Oddly, the Simpsons already had a character called Shaggy, Barney Gumbel's dog. There you go. Number five, Zoinks! Remember that? Zoink Scoob!
Yep.
Yeah.
There was always a kitchen filled with food, and everywhere, no matter what haunted house they were in, there was always a kitchen with lots of food.
Yeah, as there should be. The cartoon character Shaggy appears in the Scooby-Doo comic Ghost in the Mystery Machine. Ghost in the Machine was the Police's fourth album, on which Sting played, sang, and wrote most of the tracks. Number 6, 007. Shaggy was born in Jamaica, and Sting is no stranger to the island, having enjoyed a songwriting stay at Golden Eye, the former home of the late James Bond author Ian Fleming, where he penned some of his biggest hits, including Every Breath You Take, Wrapped Around Your Finger, and King of Pain. Number 7, Easel Does It. Sting collects art and has commissioned paintings by well-known artists. Shaggy is a skilled fine artist in his spare time, specializing in painting and drawing. Number 8, Twin Stings. Shaggy's first hit, Oh Carolina, was produced by Sean Pizzonia, better known as DJ and producer Sting International. No relation, just another curious coincidence. Number 9, Trenchtown. Sting and Shaggy both found themselves in holes before they were famous. Shaggy was often in trouble when he was in the U.S. Marines, and as punishment was handed a spade and told to dig a hole the size of a truck. Sting worked as a builder's laborer in his early days and dug trenches as part of his job. Kind of curious, huh?
Yeah, I'll say.
Number 10, Family Ties. Shaggy appeared on Elephant Man's 2008 album Let's Get Physical, which was released on Bad Boy Records, the label owned by P. Diddy. One of Diddy's biggest hits as Puff Daddy and the Family was a version of the Police's song Every Breath You Take, retitled I'll Be Missing You, as an ode to the late Notorious B.I.G. Number 11, Sister Fact. Sting and Shaggy have Whoopi Goldberg in common. Sting sang with her on stage at a 1992 charity concert at Carnegie Hall, New York. Shaggy's connection is more basic. He had a childhood crush on the dreadlocked actress and comedian. Number 12, Lest We Forget. Both played at the Bataclan, the Paris venue that was the tragic scene of a terror attack in November 2015, in which 90 people were killed. Shaggy played there in 2013. Sting was the headline act at the theater's reopening in November 2016. All right, a few more to go here. Number 13, Sly and Robbie. Shaggy's 2014 single You Girl was co-produced by Sly and Robbie, reggae's legendary rhythm twins. 33 years earlier, they played on Grace Jones' breakthrough album Nightclubbing, which included a cover of Sting's tune Demolition Man. What's more, Robbie Shakespeare played bass on Sting and Shaggy's new album. Number 14, Full Neon. Both artists idolized Nelson Mandela. Shaggy said meeting the South African statesman was one of the greatest moments of his life, and Sting sang, if you love somebody, set them free at the Nelson Mandela 70th birthday tribute in London in 1988, which put pressure on the apartheid government to release the freedom fighter from prison. So there you go.
Yeah.
And that was a very cool thing.
Yes, definitely.
Number 15, The Kids Are All Right. Both Sting and Shaggy have written children's books. Sting's was called Rock Steady, A Story of Noah's Ark, a tale with an ecological message, and Shaggy's was Shaggy Parrot and the Reggae Band, distributed free with a CD to schools in Jamaica. Number 16, this one's interesting, Ali G and Me. Sting appeared at the 2002 Brit Awards, and Sacha Baron Cohen's comedy creation Ali G was on the same show. That same year, Ali G and Shaggy released a single together, Me Julie. In another connection, Ali G and UK TV presenter Gail Porter sang The Police's Every Breath You Take on Baron Cohen's TV series, The Ali G Show. So there you go. Yeah. 3 left, I believe. Number 17, I'm an Alien. Shaggy grew up in Kingston but moved to New York City as a teenager, retaining his identity and style as a Jamaican. His Raytown clothing label now sells t-shirts bearing the motto Jamaican in New York, inspired by Sting's smash hit Englishman in New York. Number 18, getting down to the wire, Clothesline Drop. Sting and Shaggy are also the names of wrestlers. Shaggy is a German grappler, and Sting was a WWE wrestler in the U.S. who held 15 world championships. And the very last thing that Sting and Shaggy have in common, tough gongs. They have both been honored by their respective governments. Shaggy was awarded the Order of Distinction in 2007, and Sting was made a CBE for services to music in 2003. Respect due. And wow, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I know some of those might be considered a bit of a stretch, right? Mm-hmm. But still, when you think about it, commonalities are kind of cool. Yeah. And you can find things in common. And you had something you wanted to to share with us about?
Yeah, again, sort of more theoretical, I suppose you could say, but this is more like what do things have in common, and in their place in time, and in terms of inventions or where pop culture is at.
Yeah.
And one example of that is well, it used to be called Sky Dome. It's called Rogers Centre now.
Right.
And in Toronto, of course, where the Toronto Blue Jays play. And anyways, when Rogers Centre, or Sky Dome, as it was originally called, was built, it was considered ahead of its time almost. And I compare Rogers Centre to Laserdiscs, because when Laserdiscs came out, everybody thought, this is so cool. I mean, this is the future. And soon after Rogers Centre was built, Oriole Park in Camden Yards, which I believe was the first retro ballpark, and then people said, oh wait, this is even better. And so you started seeing the new retro ballparks, Oriole Park in Camden Yards, et cetera, and there's a lot now. So Rogers Centre was sort of like a laser disc, and that seemed like a good idea with the retractable roof, and it wasn't a bad idea. It's just that it just got kind of usurped by like Rogers Centre got usurped by the idea of retro ballparks, old-fashioned style ballparks.
Yeah.
And laser discs, I think they have something in common with Rogers Centre, because Laserdiscs were fine in and of themselves, but then they invented DVDs, which were smaller and just more advantageous than Laserdiscs. So I always say that Rogers Centre and Laserdiscs have something in common.
Yeah, and Laserdiscs had a really quick death, didn't they? They were not around for a long time.
No.
Now, I mean, granted, Rogers Centre still exists.
Yeah.
But the like you said, the whole thing about the retractable roof, the whole, I don't know. How amazing that was, just kind of ended with all the retro ballparks.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our fun facts for this episode. Jeff, why don't you take us to our next segment?
Oh, yes, it's now time for a Meltdown Minute with Lou.
Hello everybody, this week we're talking about commonalities, things that people have in common, whether they be habits, whether they be patterns of thinking, whether they be shoes, doesn't matter. We're talking about commonality. And I think the issue here is that we live in an era of social media where people don't want to be common, where there's a negative connotation to the word common, right? And if you trace it back historically, commoners, right, who are not royal folks, that would be my branch of history. And that's why people would get upset. They don't want to be common. They want to stand out. Look at me, I'm fancy, or whatever they say to themselves. But my point is this. Commonalities are important, and it's what draws us together. And regardless of whether you're here or whether you're overseas or in South America or Atlantis, doesn't matter. We all have the same things in common. We all want the same things. We all fear the same things. Except for maybe Atlantis, in which case it would be like a kelp would probably be a big issue for them. We'd get into the filtration system, probably. Dry skin from salt water is probably another one. My point is, if you're planning to go to Atlantis, bring a cream or a salve.
Thank you, Lou. And now it's time for Meltdown Stupidness.
All right, from the I wouldn't want to be like you department, 36 things you never realized everyone else does too. So chime in, Jeff, if you've done any of these, just let me know. These are pretty fast, so we'll get through them pretty quick. All right, number 1, on a road trip, you start to think of the other cars as your travel companions and feel a tinge of sadness when you exit the highway. Number 2, you still unconsciously think of the 90s as being 10 years ago. I find myself doing that all the time. Yeah. Oh, boy, that's sad. Yeah. Number 3, you immediately go back and read an email right after you hit send. Do you do that?
Well, yeah, because I always have to see if I wrote the right thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
I always.
Isn't it a good idea to do that before you send it, though?
No, you know what? I do it before.
Yeah.
I send it, like I proofread it about 5 or 6 times.
And then you do it again.
And especially as important as some are less important than others. But proofread, send, proofread, go away, walk back. Yes, I'm obsessed with, And it bothers me when I make a spelling error, even if it was just a mistake and it's spell checked in. I'm like, oh, do they think I'm stupid? Of course they don't think I'm stupid, but I'm like, oh, I can't believe I spelled puddle with 1 D. Oh.
Poodle.
Poodle.
Yeah.
Poodle, that's cute.
Here we go. Number 4, you'd rather take an inferior parking spot and walk than stress yourself out looking for the perfect spot.
Yeah, I don't mind walking.
Yeah. We all have that in common. Yeah. Number 5, when you take a shower, you make a bucket with your arms to catch as much water as you can and splash it all on the shower floor.
I've done that sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I actually do collect it in my hands and then let it go. I don't know why. There's something about the water hitting the floor.
Yeah.
Number 6, long phone call equals pacing around the entire house.
Yeah.
Do you do that when you're on the phone?
I'm rarely on the phone these days.
Right,
I cannot be on the phone for more than like 10 seconds. It's just, not that I don't want to talk to the people I'm talking to.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about it, something claustrophobic, especially these days with cell phones.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
it's
little
true.
different in the old days with,
When I use my phone for any call, I always put on speaker.
Yeah.
I rather do that.
Yeah.
There's something about, because, you can sit down, have your phone there with speaker and be doing other things as well. Which, means you're not really paying attention. But okay, number 7, you procrastinate when getting into the shower, but hate getting out once you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
I like sleeping. I like nice hot shower.
Yeah. It's just getting in there is a bit tough.
Yeah.
Number
Sleeping in
8,
the shower.
you spell out Wednesday like Wednesday in your head when you're writing it.
Oh, of course.
Also, February.
Of course. Well, that goes back to these, proofreading my emails.
Yeah.
I will see you next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I spelled it correctly.
I rarely say Wednesday anymore. I actually say Wednesday. I just say it because I think it's how it's spelled. Might as well say it like that. Number 9, you get lost in thought while reading, but you don't notice until you're 3 pages past where you stopped paying attention. Guilty. All the time. All the time.
I'm a notoriously slow reader. I can read quickly, like blah, 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 but then I stop and I think about what I've just read. It takes me forever sometimes to get through a book because I'm like, oh, okay, this chapter, yeah, okay, wait a minute, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, you
that's
have to
what
go
I mean
back.
by it takes me it takes me a long time to read a book.
All right, here we go. Number 10. When you're in a store where you're not planning on buying anything, you start to get paranoid that security thinks you're a shoplifter. All right, number 11. You need a fan blowing on you as you sleep because you like being buried under covers. Number 12. There's something about the impending feeling before a big storm that makes you feel alive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see those dark, dark clouds or you smell the ozone or something, there's something, and I wonder if that's just pure electricity, pure energy that we're getting from our environment.
I think it's that, but I think ever since the tornadoes of last year in Ottawa, when I actually drove through the path of the tornado after it had passed.
Well, yeah,
and I mean, it technically wasn't a tornado where I passed on the airport parkway, but and I remember the feeling before it hit. But even just a more normal, so to speak, storm. Yeah, you're right. You do get that feeling of yes, this is. Yeah. This is life. This is the life churning.
Yeah.
This is the planets.
And I've always felt that way, but I never really realized it until I read this, which is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, moving on here. Number 13, you rehearse arguments in your head just in case it should ever come up.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Number 14, you set your alarm earlier than you need to so you can hit the snooze button several times.
Actually, I set it as late as I possibly can.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have like 5 alarms.
Yeah.
And now I have to put my phone further back, so I actually have to get up out of bed to turn it off because I was finding my alarm sounds were becoming part of my dreams, and I was just sleeping through it.
Actually, I'll tell you though, I rarely wake up early in the morning because of the way my schedule, the way it's set, I work in the evening quite a bit. But when I do have to get up early, when I do set my alarm, something in me makes me wake up about 5 minutes before I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not unique in that sense. I know other people are like that. They just get up when they have to.
Well, your internal clock, my friend.
My internal clock, yes.
All right, number 15. You have to find the perfect TV show to watch before you can eat any food you've prepared for yourself.
That's a common thing for me. Not always, but yeah.
It's common in this house.
Yeah.
Number 16. You always feel weird saying your name out loud.
I know a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
I like my name, and I like the fact that a lot of people can't pronounce it or spell it, even though it's really easy to pronounce.
Yeah.
I voted yesterday advanced polling, and the person working there, one of the people turned to her coworker and said, "Try and pronounce this name."
LeFave.
Yeah, I told her, it's actually easy. It's phonetically LUH-FAVE, but anyways.
Yeah. Number 17, you listen to a song on repeat just to memorize the tricky sections in case it comes on around friends. Can't say I've done that. Number 18, you always feel relieved when you get home and nobody else is there. Yeah.
Sometimes that's the case.
Yeah, sometimes that's a good thing. And sometimes that can be a good thing, especially if like you got to put groceries away and you have to go to the bathroom. It's like, oh, thank God I can just do whatever I want in what order I want to do them in. Number 19, you sometimes stop the microwave with just 1 second left so you can pretend you're defusing a time bomb.
Well, that's a good reason to do that. Now, I do it just because that way I figure I'm close enough. So if I put something in for 30 seconds, I usually is actually only 29. But that's a fun thing to do, to pretend you're diffusing a bomb.
Yeah,
just in the
just
nick
like
of time.
just in the nick of time.
Next time I'll think that way.
We'll all do that. I
play
think
the
we're gonna
bomb
all
game.
do that from now on, and I'll be proud of it. I'll say, babe, I just defused a time bomb. All right, number 20. You're way more depressed by Sunday nights than Monday mornings. And you know what? For me, because of the hectic work schedule I have on Mondays, I do. Sundays are just like, ugh. Tomorrow I'm back at, and not that I dislike my job. It's just the getting up early and you know.
I used to I mean, on a serious note, when I used to really struggle with depression, and I have over the years. These days it's actually not so bad, but I used to start getting depressed on Saturday night.
Really?
Yeah, it would hit me that early. Saturday
Wow.
night. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's too bad. But you're better now.
Well, yeah,
I
mean, the diet is one thing, and I don't get depressed the way I used to. The earliest I work on Monday, and I like my job as well, but the earliest I work on Monday is 5 p.m.
Well, there you go.
So, I ease into the Monday, so to speak.
Yeah. All right, number 21. You smile at dogs when they walk past without acknowledging their owners.
I actually, running an errand today, I waved at there was 3 dogs in a car, and I said to myself, that's a lot of dogs in a car. Although the owner wasn't there, but I probably wouldn't have waved to the owner unless they sort of knew I was waving at their dog. So I do that. Yes.
All right. Number 22. Sometimes you check just one more time to make sure you can't actually move things with your mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Number 23. You start reading interesting things on the internet and just stop a third of the way through because you lose patience. I think that's just everybody. Our attention span globally is reducing like crazy. Number 24. You need to check behind the shower curtain every time you go in the bathroom. Now I used to do that when I lived in a place that had the commode right beside a tub with a shower curtain. Right. In our current bathroom we have a glass shower, so we don't do that anymore. Right. But I did used to do that. Number 25. And weirdly, you still need to double check that there's no one behind you, even when you're looking in the bathroom mirror. You do that? You're looking in the mirror, then you look behind you just to make sure? I don't do that.
Well, if somebody's taller than me, then it wouldn't matter because I'd see them. But anyways.
Yeah, that's semantics. Yeah. All right, number 26. You often feel phantom phone vibrations in your pocket, even when your phone didn't vibrate. That could be. Yeah. Number 27. You get nervous about making small talk with hairdressers. I can tell you, I never do that. Me personally, never happens. Jeff,
I'm just realizing
you're just getting that now,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it depends. I find that when I get my hair cut, they sort of know the limit, and I know the limit with them, if so to speak, in terms of like, we should stop the conversation.
Okay.
Not that I've had. Actually, I did have one sort of bad experience, but that wasn't so much conversation. It was this person, apparently, the chain hair cutter stores.
Okay.
The managers get a cut of profit for each sale of shampoo, etc. And this one, it turns out I found out later because I went to another franchise and they said, oh yeah, she's the manager. And this manager didn't know she was the manager at the time, but she kept insisting that I buy this and buy that. And I kept saying, no, thank you. And was very polite about it. And she was very firm. And then it was almost like she was looking, and I kind of figured out she's probably making a profit off of this if she sells me this shampoo or whatever. And she looked at me like, how do you expect me to pay my bills? She didn't actually say that.
Oh, really?
And went to that one location once, and I haven't been back because I thought, I do not need this. I'm not here to support you.
And a haircut's supposed to be a thing you need, but it's also supposed to be kind of a relaxing thing too. So you don't need that.
Yeah, that happened once. That's not like a regular thing,
Good.
Yeah.
All right, let's race through these last ones. Number 28, you wipe your cell phone screen to make all the smudge marks go in the same direction. Don't do that. Number 29, you put your music on shuffle, but then skip songs until you find the one you want anyway. Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Number 30, you sometimes talk to people as if they already had the context of what was going on inside your head. Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
And I get called out on that a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes like, oh yeah, wait a minute, I have to explain other things first before you know.
Yeah, or I get to the end of the story and my wife goes, and that's story pertaining to what? It's like, oh yeah, I didn't give you the background. All right, number 31, you feel guilty that you're not helping when a repair guy is fixing something in your house.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But that's what they get paid for.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, I should be helping out. Number 32, sorry, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
You immediately forget someone's name right after they've introduced themselves.
Yes, I got to do the thing where I should say their name to myself when they introduce.
And say it out loud, in fact.
Yeah,
If they say, hi, my name's Bill, you say, well, hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill,
How are you doing today, Bill?
That's even better. At the very least,
Yeah.
you should say his name is Bill to yourself. But saying it out loud is an even better idea.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm guilty of that as well. All right, number 33, you hate it when books are adapted into movies and they start using images from the movie as the cover of the book. Yeah. Star Wars did that, didn't it? First it came out with one picture, and then after the movie, they used the movie poster.
Right.
I think. Don't quote me on that. Here's number 34. You refuse to accept GIF as the proper pronunciation of GIF. Last two, number 35. You catch yourself wondering how many random people have photos with you in the background. It's true. How many times do we walk around? Like, I'm thinking, first thing pops to mind is being at Blues Fest with hundreds of thousands of people. People are taking selfies or whatever, group photos, and you just happen to be walking by. Sometimes I'll bomb one if I know what's happening. I'll do like a really weird, creepy face, just because. And our last one today, number 36, you feel sympathy for inanimate objects when they're underused or discarded.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I hoard everything.
So there you have it. That is the show about commonalities. And next week, we are going to be looking at the best and worst marriage proposals. And I have a story myself. Jeff, have you ever proposed marriage? Okay, let's not talk about that. Okay. Well, I have a story for you, and we'll get to that next week. So you got to stick around for that. Plus, Lou Saracino will be back with the Meltdown Minute. Until then, I'm Norm.
And I'm Jeff.
And this has been the Meltdown. Bye-bye.